Hey y'all, my name is Sosa, and welcome back to the Brunch Club. Today I have a new guest with me. Her name is
Diana.
And she's gonna join me in talking about some Reddit stories about some evil mother-in-laws. Let's get right into it. So, for our first story, it's titled Mother in Law Was Offended I Wouldn't Use Her Jacket as a Cover While Breastfeeding. It was 90 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Hey. At the beach with my husband, baby, sister in law, mother in law, and my two nephews. Baby's hungry, so I go to breastfeed him. Mother in law basically forces her jacket over me and baby and says, "There you go." It's 90 degrees outside. I say, "No thank you," and hand it back to her. Sorry, I'm not going to give my baby heat stroke so someone doesn't see a little more than what a bikini would show. She immediately moved away from me like she was embarrassed and complained to my husband how I wouldn't cover up. My husband told her it's 90 degrees outside and it's hot enough just having him against me without a cover. She asks him if he's okay with everyone seeing his wife like that. He says, "They're just boobs. Half the world has them." I love that response.
Wow. I just want to know what the mother-in-law was thinking.
Literally.
Like, I'm sorry, but even I feel like I'm going to have a heat stroke at 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's actually like 91 right now, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
that is pretty hot. Like, I mean, I feel like I'm used to higher temperatures because, you know, I'm from here, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. A jacket on, I think I would actually probably pass out.
No. I mean, why? I mean, to an extent, I see her point, you know, trying to be modest. But the fact that she couldn't comprehend, like, hey, it's 90 degrees outside. This is a child. Probably not. Not in this weather, you know?
My whole thing was the like that, feeding her child. Oh, I don't know. Like, that's weird.
See, I think a lot of it has to do with stigma, like in society especially, and just how I feel like people sexualize mothers who are breastfeeding.
Oh, we're gonna get to one like that. We're gonna get to one like that.
Like, it's a natural thing. Let the mother feed her child.
But yeah, the comments are all like very on her side. I actually really like this one, and I wanted to put it first because the husband defended her, and in so many of the mother-in-law stories, the husband's like, "That's my mom," and it's like, your mom is being crazy, like, you know. But in this one, the top comment is, "I'm willing to bet your husband's chest was out." And there's a lot of like, "good for you," and this post gets reposted a lot. Apparently it's a really common problem, and a lot of people are totally on her side. So yeah, on to the next story. Stepmom destroys my fiance's dead cousin's wedding dress thinking it was mine. A little background. My fiance's cousin passed away in an accident on her honeymoon around 6 years ago. Her husband couldn't stand being around wedding gifts, decor, mementos, etc. So everything wedding related was split between family members. My fiance was very close to her cousin and was her maid of honor, so got her wedding dress. It sat in our closet. My fiance sometimes took it out to look at, but has never planned on wearing it. My fiance's cousin was a similar shape and size to me, and the dress has been kept pristine, so it wouldn't be too big of a leap to assume the dress was mine. Oh, I just realized Well, I didn't realize that before. We fell out with my dad and stepmom over multiple manipulations, including taking money from my grandparents, who thought it was going to be my hospital bills. This falling out led to them being evicted by my grandfather after years of living rent free. We've been getting a barrage of online abuse since this, but since they're halfway across the world, we didn't think it would spill over into the real world. Unfortunately, we were on a date when she got there, and the only person in was my college friend who was crashing on our couch. She opened the door, and my stepmom pushed past, yelling and throwing a fit. She set herself into our room and threw stuff around. Nothing was damaged beyond repair until she raided the closet and found the dress. She barricaded the door, and by the time we got home to deal with the situation, she was screaming something about how I can't get married without a dress. We didn't think about the dress in the closet in the moment and wondered what she was talking about, as I don't have my dress yet. We called the police and they took her away. When we finally realized what she was talking about. Fiance's cousin's dress is in shreds. My fiance is devastated, and her family are upset too. None of them blame me, but I feel like it's my fault for bringing my stepmom into their lives. I'm trying to help my fiance through this, and the grief it's brought up, as well as putting in precautions to protect ourselves and our home. My stepmom is being detained, so my dad is creating multiple accounts to harass us. My fiance is saying she's actually glad I wasn't home when stepmom got there, because she might have tried to hurt me, but the loss of something so sentimental is really hitting her hard. Wow. Like, wow.
I have no words. Why? Oh my goodness. You know, this kind of reminds me of like a rerun of Cinderella. Every time I hear the word stepmom, I'm just like, I feel like it's about to go downhill, genuinely.
I don't know, on Reddit, I just feel like hearing stepmom, I'm like, oh no, it's about to be something insane, you know? This is, yeah, oh my gosh. All the comments are all like really apologetic and like so on her side, of course, and they're like, it's not like it's her fault, but dang, it's just like really sad. Like, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
And then for the father to still like think that he has like a leg to stand on is absolutely like,
and not to be like empathetic towards his own daughter,
right?
That's a little sad, honestly.
That's so crazy. A lot of people are like, get a restraining order, and OP did comment a little bit. Okay, she said, someone said, wow, now would be a good time to get a restraining order. I'm sorry your dad and stepmom are crazy. That's gotta be hectic to deal with, but protect yourselves. Get security cameras or ring door alarm or something. I would definitely press charges if that's an option. And OP replied, thank you. With the laws out here, because of the level of crime and the price of what she destroyed, the officials decide what happens with charges, but we wouldn't withdraw the charges even if it was our choice. A lot of people are saying that like, even though the wedding dress is not fixable, they can like find other things to do with like the pieces that they have left. I think that's a great idea. I feel like this story is so sad, and it's just like, I just can't, like, how would someone in their right mind be like, I'm gonna shred this wedding dress, even if it's like, I want to stop you from getting married. It's like, that could be thousands of dollars, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
And you don't even know where she got it. Like, you don't know if it was her mom's. You don't know, like, but whatever. She obviously has like no regard for her, you know.
Yeah, and it's obviously going to bring up like grief back up again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like emotionally draining in and of itself. So,
Mother-in-law thinks breastfeeding is dirty. Mother-in-law thinks breastfeeding is incest. Usually, my mother-in-law is just sort of this useless noise in the background over Zoom. I tune her out when she's speaking, and she lives 3,000 miles away from us. She doesn't bother me, and if she does, I just hang up. She's one of those boomer moms that used formula because she thought breastfeeding was dirty. Whatever, more power to her. She fed my husband, that's all I care about. How people feed their baby is their business, mostly. My issue is that she decided to visit us and her grandkids 3 in 1 and do some California sightseeing. Great. Welcome. I brought new towels in her favorite color because last time she came they were scratchy and she thought we were having financial problems and couldn't afford new towels. I line dried them outside, but go off. Sorry you hate exfoliating, Betty. Anyway, she gets here and after a lovely dinner I did not cook because I'm good at other things, I start getting the baby and toddler down for bed. We have bedtime at the same time to avoid tantrums because I like my husband and want to have time with him in the evenings. I breastfed my 1-year-old to sleep and for a nap and weight loss benefits, lol. And as I'm starting, my mother-in-law tells my 3-year-old they can stay awake longer because they're not a baby. My husband closes his eyes in despair. 3-year-old has a big complex about being seen as a baby. God help us all. The tantrums begin. Mother-in-law is arguing with Hubs, backing 3-year-old. I've got my 1-year-old gnawing at me at this point. All is chaos. Everyone is crying but me. She will not see my tears. I cry in the shower like a boss. Then, 3-year-old is tired, emotional, and just angry Pete. They latch onto my free boob to comfort feed. This is a super rare occurrence. Like, 3-year-old has done this 4 times since they've been weaned. So when it happens, I know it's something they need, and so sure, why not? My mother-in-law saw this and went absolutely crazy. She's saying how disgusting I am for doing that to my children and how I am sick and need to get both kiddos on whole milk. 3-year-old is allergic. And stop abusing my children. I do the exact wrong thing and start laughing. Have you ever been bitten by a teething baby on the most sensitive part of your body? Trust me, I'm not getting pleasure out of this. Ask why she thinks that, as my husband is trying to yell at his mom, who is booking a hotel, and says that it is a very erotic act. Y'all, my husband's soul left his body. I saw the whole thing. So needless to say, she's staying in a hotel. Husband bought her a ticket back to Florida. And maybe we won't be seeing her for Christmas, which is great, because she always forgets I'm Jewish. I think I loved that story, actually. I thought I was going to be like, the whole time, right? But I actually loved that story, because it's just like the way that the lady writes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Why... Where on earth did she get the idea that this natural act between a mother and a child is incest?
Abuse, even.
Abuse.
Truly, yeah. I'm baffled.
Losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. That is a natural response. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I have no words. I have no words. I'm kind of shook. Because what the heck?
Yeah. Also, pro this husband. I feel like we've had pretty good husbands in these stories.
Oh yeah.
Right, which is so rare, you know? Usually they're like mama's boys, and that's why the mom feels like they can be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so pro this husband. Because like, literally, him like instantly being like, yeah, get out.
No.
Was actually definitely the move. Because what?
Yeah.
Their child is 3. Like, this commenter is talking about how like 3-year-olds absorb everything and they can understand, and you wouldn't want him to be like, my mom is abusing me because I'm breastfeeding. That's wild. That is a wild idea, to be screaming in front of children.
Exactly.
Like, what?
I have no words.
Why don't I know my grandkids? That's gonna be the question later. It's gonna be like asking Reddit, AITA for screaming at my daughter-in-law. Like, yeah, babe. What? Okay, so the last one is mother-in-law wants my wedding ring, keeps trying to take it. Yeah. My husband's grandma gave him her wedding ring to give me at our wedding. When he was first putting it on my finger, we could hear a very loud, "What the heck is that?" from his mother. When she first saw it, what it was. It's a solitary diamond surrounded by small rubies on a gold band, and his grandmother had it as her wedding ring. It had been passed through the family since the mid-1700s. Grandma didn't like her daughter, nor her granddaughter, husband's sister. Really, so she felt it was best for my husband to have it and give it to me. Mother-in-law spent the rest of the wedding and the reception staring at the ring on my finger. I'm sure just trying to figure out how to get it. A couple of weeks later, we were over at her place for dinner, and she kept insisting I take it off while helping to clean up so it wouldn't get damaged, and put it somewhere safe, like her jewelry chest upstairs. I declined and kept it on. A few weeks later, she was over at our house for dinner when she saw I wasn't wearing it because I had just been gardening, and asked why I wasn't wearing it. I told her, and suddenly she had to go to the bathroom and went upstairs to use it. I was suspicious, so I quietly went up to check, only to find her trying to force open our bedroom doors. As soon as she saw me, she said she couldn't find the bathroom, to which I pointed at the open door, the obvious bathroom that she would have had to pass to get to our bedroom. Even if she had forced the door open, my ring was in the safe in there, and only I have the combination. I don't think she wanted it for herself, but for her daughter, my sister-in-law. As my sister-in-law is one of the most spoiled, entitled people I have ever met. She whines about my husband having something, but doesn't want to put in the work to get it. But my mother-in-law is more than happy to get it for her. Father-in-law is not in the picture, as he died when my husband was around 8 or 9, so getting him to help is not a solution. My husband has said that ever since his dad died, his mom spoiled his sister constantly, while he has to work hard for everything he has. Sister-in-law got mad that my husband and I got a free trip to Hawaii for our honeymoon. My parents paid for it. It was their wedding gift to us. And threw a fit that she couldn't go to Hawaii. So mother-in-law bought her one right after we got back.
Wow. So, wait. The grandmother didn't want to give it to any of her kids?
No.
Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah.
Okay.
She says she doesn't like her daughter, so why would she give it to her?
Fair enough.
I'm starting to see why, you know. I'm definitely starting to see why.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a family heirloom almost.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And this mother-in-law is upset that she couldn't give it to her own daughter.
Yep.
Interesting.
Pretty much.
Well, there are plenty of other rings to go around.
No, seriously.
I don't understand, but
Like, it is not your ring.
yeah.
The fact that she wanted to rob her, that's what's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you go upstairs and you see your mother-in-law trying to force the door open. The door is locked, babe. What? You think no one was gonna hear that, see anything? Like, what was gonna happen if she got it open? She would have broken the door open. What was she gonna do? Oh my god, they got burgled. What? I'm trying to think the plan through, and I'm like, I don't see where it was going.
I'm glad that she kept it in the safe.
Same.
That way, you know, loosens the chances of it being stolen by the mother-in-law. Because seriously, that is an invasion of privacy for one on her end. And you know, if the ring has been passed on to the grandmother, it rightfully belongs to the grandmother. And if she chose to give it to the grandson, to give it to the wife that he's marrying, obviously it belongs to them now. So just leave it at that. I don't understand why fight over a ring.
Listen, you know, I get it, but I feel like if you're not the one, you're not the one. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't want to give it to you. It was a gift. How are you going to steal somebody else's gift? You don't have a right. You
don't.
Know?
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird. But there are some comments that I totally agree with. Like, there's this comment that says, I like the idea of engraving it, but also have it appraised and entered into property, like, the property on the insurance. Said this should have it established on paper as your property. So, like, it's not like, oh, it's a family thing. No. Ain't no family. Mm-hmm. Ain't no family. You stole from me. If they steal from her, they can, like, then she can sue them, you know? And then this person said, make some cheap copies of the ring and give it to mother-in-law and sister-in-law as a Christmas present and be like, this way you can also enjoy the family ring. And then have a decoy for yourself and wear it around. I think this, along with the engraving, so you got to engrave the original copy. Please, my name would be in that full government name, babe.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, then the next, the little decor of, like, decoy 1 or, like, maybe decoy 2, whatever you want to put, you know. And then it's almost like if you actually, like, first of all, it rubs a little tiny bit of salt in the wound, right? Because they want the ring so bad, right? And then second of all, like, she could also flip that and be like, well, I thought I was doing a nice thing. I mean, they're trying to rob you. Like, these are not the nicest people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just find that insane that she would try to break into, like, her things. That's absolutely sick.
Now, like, the trust is gone too.
Oh, for sure.
And like, what? Just why can't people be happily married without crazy mother-in-laws?
No, seriously.
Like, why? It's insane. It baffles me.
Like, oh my gosh. But, like, people, like, even the, like, controversial comments are, like, all, like, she's insane. They're all like, why would she be trying to steal it? Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
That's so sickening. I cannot. And then, so this person did say, like, one of the Q&A comments, I guess, said, like, next time she tries to get you to take it off, decline and tell her you aren't willing to take it off unless it's going into your safe or a similar secure place. And say you'd be destroyed if it went missing. So you guys have made sure to document every inch of it as a part of paperwork for insuring it. I think that's really, really smart to like be like, oh yeah, I'm really afraid of it getting stolen. So, you know, made sure that the police would be able to go after anybody who ever took my ring.
I'm genuinely curious if there are any comments that are like in support of the mother-in-law.
Oh, I haven't seen a single one. I literally, when you flip it to controversial, you'll see the downvoted ones, like the ones that people didn't agree with. And not a single one of those was in support. Everybody's like, okay.
They all think she's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, wow, I'm sorry for that girl. But yeah, that is our last story for today. I feel like this episode was fine. I feel like these stories were way nicer than I thought they would be, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Most of them had really great husbands. But, in that last story, where's the husband? But you know what? Whatever. You know, like, he might not, if he's not there, then he can't do anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. That's all that we have for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Deanna, thank you so much for guesting.
Of course. Thank you for hosting.
Please go back and like click the links in the descriptions for the stories and watch the other videos and clips on our channels. This should be streaming on a few different platforms, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And of course, like and subscribe. That's all for today. Love you guys.